Alright, welcome to the first episode of Sparky on Mic. So, basically, the first thing I want to talk about is the S21. Recently on social media, you've been seeing a lot of leaks and renders of what the S21 would look like. And the first thing that really kind of struck me was the camera module. I don't like it at all. Like, the way they made the camera module the same color as the actual back base color of the phone, there's just something I really don't like about it, and especially because of how big the cameras and the sensors are. As you can see, they're far bigger than any other mainstream device. It kind of makes it even more ugly, if you will. I'm very curious about what the cases for that would look like. I'm very curious about what the case for those phones would look like because of the awkward way the camera bump is placed. But I think this is a sign about what Samsung's going to do in the future. So you notice that they're kind of settling down the actual camera bump. The whole point, the statement of the S20 phone was the big camera module. They had this huge camera module the size of about a thin Lego brick, which is actually very big compared to a normal camera module. So basically, in fact, one of the selling points of the S20 was its huge camera, but interestingly on the S21, the camera module itself is toned down. So I actually think this is a sign that Samsung wants to get rid of the camera module. And what do I think about this? It's a good idea, but at the same time it's not. It's not, because one key feature you see on the everyday smartphone is that big camera module, because for the most part smartphones are plain. It's a plain color, plain materials, but what really makes a smartphone unique is the camera module, and I think getting rid of that may not be good because it'll start to make smartphones boring. The most customizable part on a smartphone is the actual camera module itself. So honestly, I don't know. But then at the same time, by getting rid of that camera module, and then possibly Samsung would follow Apple on its journey of getting rid of ports and possibly even buttons, I think that'll lead to a very minimalistic looking smartphone, which minimalists will probably love because of its simple design. So you'll definitely get controversy on both sides, or arguments on both sides. So, but we don't even know if that's gonna happen or not. So we'll see. But the thing is, I don't think the S21 will sell well because other than the camera, it basically is the same as the S20. It's slightly upgraded, you know, a little bit more RAM, a little bit more storage, slightly better cameras. Like, other than the actual camera module itself, there's nothing really special about it. But another reason why I don't think it will sell well is because of the whole controversy of Exynos versus Qualcomm chips in the S20. So if you don't know about that, basically the story or the report is that even though Samsung advertises their S20 with the superior latest Qualcomm chips, they're putting the Exynos chips in their S20 devices internationally, which are inferior and by a surprising margin. So basically, you're buying something very expensive, the price of you're buying something which is supposed to be a great product. You pay that premium for it, but you end up with an inferior chip. So, many tech YouTubers have talked about this, and those same videos have gotten millions of views. So that's definitely going to influence people's mind. So I think the S21 probably will not sell well. It's said to have better battery life, which, I mean, we'll see. Samsung's pretty good with battery life, I think, because, as I mentioned before, even their cheaper and even their cheaper smartphones tend to have a pretty good battery. So actually, I'm kind of hopeful with that. Oh, another thing though, the S21 is said to not have a charger in the box. And in fact, same thing with Hawaii, I think. I can't remember if it's Hawaii or Xiaomi, one of those other smartphone companies. They're also removing the charger in the box. And this also reminds me of the headphone jack. How Apple got rid of the headphone jack. All these other companies were complaining and making fun of Apple. Yet a year later, 2 years later, they also got rid of their headphone jack and made their own wireless buds. So we're starting to see the same thing with not including the charger in the box. The S21 is rumored not to have the charger. The other company I mentioned will not have the charger. So it's kind of ironic. But once again, Apple's goal is to have a portless smartphone with no ports and no buttons, just the brick of the phone. So once Apple goes portless, most likely it'll push other companies to also make portless phones, and we'll see that rapid increase in development. So even though they are copying Apple's idea, it's actually a quite good thing. It's like if you have a classroom and one student's doing very well, or one student has a method of studying which makes them study better, even if all the other students kind of copy his way of studying, overall the whole classroom will be better. Similar with smartphones, once all those companies copy Apple, even though it is copying, it'll make smartphones better as a whole in general, and each smartphone company will bring in their upgrades to the idea. And last but not least, not technically relating to the S21, but they will be canceling, or possibly be canceling, the Galaxy Note series. That's actually a very wise move by Samsung, because initially the whole point of the Galaxy series was that the Galaxy Note phones had a very large screen. Samsung basically kickstarted the phablet, which now is just a normal smartphone because all smartphones are that size. Because back when the original Samsung Galaxy Note was released, back when the original Samsung Galaxy Note was released, it had a 5-point-something-inch display. I can't remember what it was. And that was very big for the time, because at the time, smartphones were 3-inch screens, 4-inch screens. They were very small, and they were known to be small little devices. So to have this huge smartphone, people said it would be uncomfortable and stuff, but it worked out. But and then same thing initially with the Samsung S series. Comparing the Samsung S series to the Samsung Note series, even though they look the same, the Note series was like business. It had the S Pen, and it had a bigger screen. But as the time went by, the S phones got bigger and bigger, until comparing the S20 Ultra and the S20 Note, other than the S Pen, they're practically the same phone. So it's just like making double the things, and even it's just like making double the smartphones. And recently, Samsung Galaxy Note sales have kind of decreased. It makes sense because you can just get the main model, and then once that decreases, you can get it for cheaper. So it makes sense. And I think they said that they'll include the S20. I think Samsung said that I think this article said that the S21 will include the S Pen, in the S21. So that's a very wise move, actually. Even though there'll probably be anger about it, because nostalgia and stuff, it's a wise move. So the second thing I want to talk about is the Apple electric car. What do I say about this? Where do I start? Wow. Like, Apple has always done traditional technology, smartphones, tablets, computers, and PCs. But an electric car, that's definitely very, very advanced for Apple, even for Apple. I think they're gonna do the software or the chipset in electric cars. So I doubt they'll actually be making their own cars. I think an article said that they'll be teaming up with Tesla or another one of these electric car companies and then they'll I think they said that they're teaming up with Tesla or one of these electric car companies, and then they'll brand that car as an Apple car, and then they'll put their software in it. Why would they do this? Well, recently Tesla's stocks have gone up significantly, and they're actually doing quite well. Tesla sales have increased drastically, so they're probably taking advantage of that market. But I don't really know about that, because even though Apple does like the opportunity to take advantage of markets, they don't take advantage of markets most of the what? Even though Apple does take advantage of stuff, they don't just hop on the bandwagon if something's becoming popular. Like, for example, before pre-iPhone times, when brick phones and Nokia phones and phones with touchpads were popular, Apple wasn't making those kind of touchpad phones, but they were developing their own computers before the iPhone. And I'm sure many other markets became very popular between when I'm pretty sure more markets have become popular since the iPhone. So many markets, whether it's food or stationery, I don't know, some random thing. Yeah, Apple doesn't make stationery or food, they make tech like smartphones and stuff. So I doubt it's just because Tesla is doing well. The third thing is Chinese digital currency. This is actually very interesting, and some of the benefits of this digital currency is that the government will be able to more easily track the flow of money, so they can prevent against fraud of banks and stuff. And then, as you know, China is a very big place, and I think the western side of China is not very populated. It's mostly a rural area. So many millions, there's only 1 billion people in China. Many millions of people may not have access to banks. So by doing this digital currency, they'll be able to access things from the bank because they'll be able to do it right off their phone. It's definitely going to be hard for China to do, because China has over 1 billion people. That's an entire seventh of the world's population, which is frankly very, very large, and it will definitely take a long time, not only because of the sheer size of China, but also there's a lot of older population who may be skeptical and hesitant to transition from traditional money to such digital currency. But it's definitely not impossible, because Zimbabwe, they actually made their own digital currency. And Zimbabwe is a pretty poor country. Like, it's not the poorest country, but it's definitely a poor country, yet for the most part they've succeeded in their digital currency venture. So I mean, Zimbabwe could do it. Eventually China could do it. I don't know if they'll be able to transition immediately, but sometime in the future. And the fourth and final thing I wanted to talk about was the Ticketmaster $10 million lawsuit. $10 million. So basically the reason why this company got sued is because an employee stole passwords from a customer of Ticketmaster and was actually sabotaging the customer's business. Maybe the customer had like a huge $1 million business. And the interesting thing was, it wasn't just that one employee, but it was a whole group of them who would regularly meet up in their workplace to hack this person's and get into this person's computer. So it's definitely scary how just something as simple as a lottery website can actually steal your information and even sabotage your business. So that's definitely crazy. You have to be careful, protect your passwords, don't do anything stupid. And one way you can protect your passwords is with NordVPN. Just kidding. That's a joke. I'm not sponsored. Thankfully, though, the restrictions were put in place. They didn't allow people to share information like that. It's under more surveillance. So something as big as that shouldn't be happening anytime soon. And the employees at fault were persecuted and fired. So that's pretty cool. You don't usually see businesses taking such action, so you definitely have to appreciate Ticketmaster. Is it worth 10 million lawsuit? Well, it wasn't really disclosed how much money the customer lost from the employees hacking his computer. Depending on, if it's millions of dollars he lost, of course he's entitled to that 10 million compensation. But if he didn't lose any money and it's just really the threat, I don't know if it's $10 million worth. And this actually slightly reminds me, it's different context, but it slightly reminds me of a time when a man actually sued Red Bull for millions of dollars because their drink did not give him wings. And it sounds ridiculous, but the truth is that's a legit lawsuit, because before that it did say Red Bull gives you wings, normally spelled WINGS. So when he drank it and he didn't receive wings, that's technically a lie on the company's part. Of course, we know that it's just an expression. Obviously, you're not going to grow wings or grow the ability to fly from drinking Red Bull, but still, it's technically a legitimate way you can sue the company, because you did not receive your wings. And he actually won the lawsuit. Once again, it's a ridiculous lawsuit. He sued Red Bull for not giving him wings, but it's still a legitimate lawsuit. He didn't receive his wings. He didn't receive any wings, but he did receive a cool $1 million, so good for him, I guess. But so now Red Bull says give you wings, but with multiple eyes. So then if someone tries to sue Red Bull for not giving them wings, then they can counterback that it's WIIIINGS, which who knows what that is, but I guess it's still an excuse. So yeah, that's basically the tech news. I'll be doing podcasts like this regularly. Currently I don't have a set permanent on stone date for recording these, but I'm planning to release podcasts like these on Saturdays, like today. I'm planning to post these on Saturdays and Wednesdays. That's when I will post these podcasts. And you may be wondering, I think I explained this in my previous video, but the reason why I'm doing this kind of podcast like thing versus animation or something is just because it's easier to do. Of course it's not easy, because I have to do actually a lot of research. It's way more work than you think, but it's easier, and I'm able to do it because in school, you see, I have a lot of tests and stuff, so I don't have much time. And that's actually one reason why I wasn't able to post in so long, because I had a lot of school, a lot of tests, and I was very busy. But with these kind of podcast things, I can always kind of store and kind of archive scripts and outlines and stuff. And then all I have to do is talk, relatively simple edit, and then I could upload that. So once again, I'll be trying to post on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. Probably not Wednesday though, maybe Tuesday or Thursday, but around that time, twice a week, I'll be posting these. And yeah, that's it. I will see you soon.